Okay, since majority are back, so we'll be starting again. The last transaction was he paid 6,000 units at 32 each on credit by paying previous credit. So his new purchases are at 32 each, so 6,000 at the rate of 32 would make it purchases worth 192,000, and they are on credit. So as we said, it should be account payables. So this is 192,000. So this is one part of the transaction. The other part of the transaction also says by paying previous credit. So previous credit can be paid by closing previous account payable. So previous account payable was so 160,000 is paid by debiting, and obviously after paying tax, also paying cash of 160,000. So your complete information from this transaction has been processed. So we'll discuss it again. He purchased 6,000 units at 32 each. So which means he had purchases of 6,000 multiplied by 32. So this makes it 192,000. So it will generate accounts payable since they are on credit. So this becomes 192,000. And last part of the transaction also states that by paying previous credit, by paying previous credit. So we need to keep this in mind that our previous credit in this transaction is 160,000 and this is a account payable. So this account payable can be paid by debiting 160,000 and converting it into cash. So this liability is now paid. So the complete transaction is now processed. Any query till here? Next thing let me know we close 5,000 units at by receiving 80% cash. So this would make it once again cash title. We are receiving cash 80%. The total transaction amount is basically 5,000 divided by 41. So this will make it how much? 205,000. So your complete transaction is of 205,000. So now you need 80% of it, which is 163,000. This also means that you have an outstanding of 50%, which is up to that, sorry, 8,000 and 15,000. So now this balance is with 5,000. So now these are account receivable. concludes your this transaction. But we also know, we haven't written here exactly which is full gravity. We also know that whenever sales occurs, we have to record cost of goods sold, which is CGS. So, and this should be credited by purchasing. And this would conclude your transaction, but you need to calculate your CGS. Remember, you have 2000 at 32 with you. These were your ending balances. Now you have purchased 5,000. No, you have purchased how much? Yeah, 6,000 over 32. So you have 6,000 at 32. 8,000 is 32. So it's not an issue now. You can easily find out the cost, which is 5,000 multiplied by 32. It should be 160,000 in your CGS, and you by 160. Now you have an ending balance of purchases worth 3,000, and their cost is 30. You will have to keep this in mind if you encounter any further transaction. Yes, any query from this transaction? I believe this should be clear by now. I deliberately repeated this scenario so you can get a grasp of this situation whenever you're faced with it. But still, if you have any queries, please ask. Okay, fine. We are moving on to the next transaction, which is also important. And obviously, I'm step by step creating certain scenarios to give you an idea how to record different types of transactions. So today we use account receivables. So let's see how they are paid then. So we have another transaction in which we can use that, okay, he received receivables, write it as account receivables, raised in first sales transaction. First sales transactions, account receivables, he received. How would you record it? This is account title, debit, and then credit. Obviously, you're receiving in terms of cash, and you had account receivables with you. Now you will be closing it just like we were closing. Receivables are paid in cash, so receivables are received in cash. So that's the difference. In payables, cash is credit to close them. For credit receivables, and then debit your cash. So your accounts is 120,000. So this is plus sales. So here you raised basically 120,000 as a cash receiving now. So this means that your 120,000 receivables is converted to cash. This concludes the transaction. Any query from this transaction, please? Okay, good, fine.
सर एक क्वेश्चन है
Yes, please.
सर ये जो इसने अकाउंट रिसीवेबल है अमाउंट 120,000 जो उसने लिया है
Hmm.
ये बेसिकली सेल करने के बाद उसने लिया ना 120,000
Hmm.
तो इसके बाद इस पे भी कॉस्ट ऑफ गुड्स का होगा
No, no, no. This was your credit sales basically. So you have
ओके
already sold these goods. Goods have gone to that individual.
ओके ओके ओके
Now you needed to recover your amount from that individual, which has now been recovered.
ओके सर
So we are here we are discussing that the amount which you needed to be recovered has now been recovered. So what would you record it then? So you'll debit your cash with 120,000 and you'll credit your receivables so that you have a knowledge that these receivables from this specific individual has been collected.
श्योर थैंक यू सर
No worries, no worries. Okay, good. I'm giving you certain now some transactions to record. I specifically said shut down your videos. You still uh, sitting on your videos. I don't know what's the motive there. Okay, for example, you have ABC purchased 10,000 units at 40 each by paying 50%. Yeah,
कितना तजर्बा है 30-35 क्रिकेट खेला हुआ नहीं अटेंडेंस नहीं होती ना ऑनलाइन
नुमान फैमिली टॉक्स तो बंद कर.
हमारी अभी नहीं
Okay, Ji. So these 7 8 transactions, you have to record most of them still. So your time at 15 minutes, and then we'll discuss this from here for 15 minutes. I'm not shutting down the meeting. Please don't go away. Just mute your mics and do your own classwork, please. Okay, since your 15 minutes are up, then we'll start recording these transactions. First one was ABC purchased 10,000 units, 40 each by paying 50% cash. So how would you record it? So you have purchases, debit. So this is your account title, debit, and obviously this is credit. So for first transaction, your purchases should be debited by how much? 10,000 at 40. So this means 400,000. By paying 50% cash means you're paying 200,000 in cash, and your account payables is 200,000. So this should be your first transaction. So coming to your second transaction, in which we say that he still purchased 60,000 units at 42 each, sorry, 6,000 units at 42 each. So you have purchases. 6,000 at 42 would mean 240, 252,000. And now you're paying 80% cash, and the remaining is your account payables. So 20% of this is 50. And 20% is 4,000. So this is 50,400. So this would mean remaining is your cash, which becomes 200, and how much is it? 1,600. So this should be 201,600. Yep. So this is 201,600. So this concludes your second transaction. Any query from this transaction, please? Okay, your third transaction is sold 12,000 units at 50 each by receiving 70% cash. So you have sold 12,000 units at 50 each. So this would be 12,000 or 600,000. So this is 600,000 of your sales revenue. So you received how much? 70% in cash. 70% in cash. So this would be 7,642. So this will be 420,000, and the rest will be your account receivable, which is in this case 180,000. This concludes first part of this transaction. You also need to record CGS for sales. CGS is you sold 12,000 units, 12,000 units, of which 10,000 are of 40 and remaining are of 42. So 6,000 42 and this at 40. So you sold 12,000. So this 10,000 will come in completely, and then you will have to use 2,000 whose cost was 42,000. So these costs would be 400,000, and this would be 2 fours are. So this would be 0, 0, 0, 2 twos are 4, and 2 fours are 8, means 84,000. So summing these up will become 484,000, and then your purchases will be credited 484,000. So this concludes your complete transaction number 3. Any query? Okay, none. Moving on. Your next transaction is you once again purchased 6,000 units at 41 each on cash. So once again you have purchase transactions. So your purchases will be debited and you purchase them on cash. So this would mean how much? 6,000 multiplied by 41. So this becomes 246,000. So 246,000 in cash. This would conclude your this transaction. Your next transaction is totally on credit. So this is no, next transaction is sold transaction. So we have to record it at 9,000 units sold at 50 each. So this is your transaction number 5. This is 4, this is 5. So all on credit would mean this would be account receivables, and you are generating your sales revenue as credit. So this would mean how much amount we need to record is 9,000 at 50. So this becomes 450,000 debit and 450,000 credit. You also need to record the CGS. So CGS is credited with purchases. So how much would CGS would be your remaining quantity from this transaction? Last transaction was after 6,000 deducting 2,000, you have 4,000, of which 42 amount Yeah, they costed 42, and then you had 6,000 units more at 41 each.